In the PlayStation State of Play for June, we got a full 7 minutes of gameplay for the Wolverine Insomniac Marvel game, and it looks fantastic. And I know I am not a video game channel, but I just need to talk about it because this game looks absolutely insane, and there is a good amount of X-Men stuff that I know can actually name off the top of my head when it comes to gameplay and some bits in the trailer. So we're just going to dive into what this trailer effectively shows us because it is insane. Now, as of this point, we don't know the full plot of the game, and honestly, I say that it's a good thing. Just like with the 3 Insomniac Spider games, we should not know the full extent of the story until we actually play through the game. But based off this trailer, it's looking like it's going to be more of a globe-trotting game with Wolverine as the main character, and it does show that Wolverine is going to be a very, brutal fighter when it comes to how he just constantly stabs people in multiple places and cuts them apart in order to build up his gauge. And they are not skipping on the actual brutality of Wolverine as a fighter. But it's looking like we're going to be so far starting off with, if this is the beginning of the game with the gameplay that we got for this state of play, that this is going to be like the start of the game post-tutorial, where it looks like we're going to be following a somewhat simple at first or standard X-Men plot, where a bunch of soldiers from Trask Industries have captured a bunch of mutants and are taking them someplace for whatever reason, whether it be experimentation or to imprison them or whatever. Now, the name Trask obviously rings a couple of alarm bells for a bunch of X-Men fans, even if you have only a slight bit of knowledge, because this obviously entails that Bolivar Trask, the man who created the Sentinel program, is probably going to be one of the main antagonists of this game. And seemingly, some of the more mob-like enemies are going to be these seemingly human Sentinel hybrids, seemingly could end up being like the beginning stage prototypes of these super sentinels, humans mixed with sentinel tech. They're rounding up mutants, they're taking them away, and in the beginning of the trailer, it looks like Wolverine is tracking Jean Grey and goes to where this whole gameplay section is going to be like, and as he makes it towards the truck, right as it's leaving with all the mutant prisoners, Jean Grey shows up, she uses her psychic powers, and you get to play as Logan and Jean Grey off on the side as she is assisting you in fighting these guys, and even some really cool team-up attacks that we saw, like once Wolverine stabs someone that Jean Grey throws in the air, she uses her psychic powers on Wolverine, and it gives him momentum to slam the guy down into the ground. And I really do hope that whenever we fight with more people, we get some more team-up stuff, because in the Spider-Man 2 game for Insomniac's home Marvel game universe, seemingly, there was very few team-up missions for us to have to an extent, and it was very limiting in terms of the team-ups in team combo attacks in the overworld to an extent, and this seems like it's giving us a bit more of that, considering that the X-Men as a whole, or just mutants as a whole, have so many varied, different, and unique abilities that if you put the X-Men together, you can always find some sort of really cool and unique combination. And personally, I like the purple hue and aura that they give Jean Grey. It's very different, and it is something that helps with the literal visual symbolization of psychic powers. It's different depending on whether it be comics, animation, or now video games. It all just kind of depends. And after breaking through this one area, Logan steals a motorcycle, tries to follow the convoy, and ends up fighting his way across multiple trucks until he manages to get into the back of one of the trucks and manages to try and free some of the mutants. One of them that I instantly recognize being Leech, whose main ability is, I think sometimes it depends on the story, whether it be physical contact or if you're in close proximity to Leech. I think it's just physical contact. If you're touching Leech, your mutant abilities are completely nullified. So it's a good thing Logan did not touch a Leech when he was shot in the arm, because otherwise his healing factor would have been deactivated in that moment, so that would have been inconvenient. But that's basically where the gameplay ends. He enters the convoy, and then once he sees more of the Super Sentinel soldiers, he jumps out to go and crash towards them. And it's then we get just a massive montage, which we'll get into a second. But in terms of the overall gameplay, it looks really fun, really fluid. You can jump, you can slide down with Wolverine's claws. The stabbing and slicing of Wolverine's claws are very cool. We don't really get to see much of unique gameplay styles in terms of special attacks or maneuvers for Wolverine just yet. But one thing we do see is, from what I can tell, the gauge that we have underneath his health bar, and as he keeps fighting enemies and taking them out, the bar fills up, And from what we can tell, it's similar to the gauge in the Spider-Man games, where the more gauge you have, you're able to take parts or all of the gauge that you have and use it to fill up your HP. So that's a very nice way to balance out Wolverine, who's someone's supposed to have like super fast healing with his advanced healing factor, and balancing out for like fun and more high stakes gameplay. So like you can be taken out, but if you fill up your gauge enough, you'll be able to fill up your health gauge and regenerate. So is in fact very cool. It's then we get about 20 to 30 seconds of a straight montage of gameplay and cinematics of Logan just cutting his way through a bunch of areas and a bunch of enemies. One really quick shot is him in a white suit and an eye patch. That's one of his identities that he usually goes into when he's in Madripoor, called Patch. So that's a really nice pull there. There's a samurai guy, I'm not sure where that's from. We see an image of his mask on top of what looks like a wooden log, and Logan has just been burned to all hell, so he probably came up from a massive battle. More of Logan fighting a whole bunch of different enemies. He is fighting Omega Red in a quick instance. This is something that we saw in the previous trailer when we actually got like the real full announcement of Wolverine as a game a year ago. We see Mystique fighting. We see a bit of Jean Grey showing up to do stuff. We see more Super Sentinels, and then one more complete Sentinel that's human-sized, so that might be a lesser Sentinel, like a normal Sentinel, just the size of a human. And Logan is also fighting Deadpool, so that's going to be really damn cool. As the trailer caps off with us seeing Sabretooth in action, just absolutely decimating a whole bunch of humans. Not sure if they are related to like Trask Industries or Damage Control or the government for all we can tell. I'm not entirely sure. But this is either an instance just like in Spider-Man 2, where we play as Venom for one quick level when Venom officially becomes a thing, and we just tear through everybody until we get to a Kraven boss fight. We might actually have like a section where we're going to be playing as Sabretooth for a little bit. And that would be really damn cool until we end up having him meet up with Wolverine, and then a boss fight is just Wolverine versus Sabretooth. That would be something that would be really cool. And a unique thing with Sabretooth also having a pretty strong healing factor like Wolverine would end up being how you have to beat him before he heals consistently. That would be a really cool idea for a boss fight when it comes to Sabretooth. And then the trailer just ends with Logan covered in blood, unleashing his claws, yelling out, and is about to fight somebody in this area. And that's basically the trailer. Honestly, I'm excited for this game. It comes out September 15th. At first, I thought it was coming out in October, but September, that's honestly pretty good. A month before my birthday, but hey, early birthday gift for me. Either way, I'm excited for this video game because I loved all three of the Spider-Man games that we got from Insomniac, and when we were told we were getting a Wolverine game, I was also incredibly excited because Wolverine has not had a video game since I think X-Men Origins Wolverine. And from what I was told when that game came out, one, better story than the actual movie it was named after, and two, it was a fun game to play. So like, I haven't played that, unfortunately, or maybe I did when I was a kid and I just don't remember at all. But a Wolverine game is definitely something really cool. You get to play as a full-blown anti-hero-like character, being Wolverine. Looks like we're going to be doing some globe-trotting. We're getting some pre-order bonuses for costumes, like the OG costume and Age of Apocalypse costume for Wolverine. And again, globe-trotting adventure, we might have Logan take up some of his different identities. This one samurai guy with what looks like an Oni mask. We might be going to Japan. Logan has a lot of stuff that happens in Japan with his backstory and his personal life, so we might end up potentially getting a Silver Samurai appearance in boss fight, for all we know, which I would absolutely love. And obviously the Trask stuff. Whether Trask is one of the stepping stones for the actual big bad of the game, or he is the main big bad and we're just fighting a whole bunch of different Sentinels and mutants and stuff like that over the course of things, who knows? And this might also end up being more of a backdoor type pilot for a future video game that's just solely focused on the X-Men, because we have a decent amount of mutants and X-Men characters in this. Mystique and Sabretooth and Deadpool are definitely related to Wolverine in different ways. Mystique sometimes, because Mystique is just everywhere due to her being a shapeshifter, and Logan will always deal with mutant stuff no matter what. But having Jean Grey in this trailer and have her be very prominent in it, for all we know, it could just be a joint front between her and Logan in a solo duo mission where they are trying to free a bunch of mutants from Trask Industries and other mutant hate groups and government organizations or whatever. And this seemingly is supposed to take place in the same universe as the Insomniac Spider games, so I'm curious to see if we'll see other characters pop up here, other Avengers, or other X-Men, because it would be really cool if outside Jean Grey we see other X-Men like Beast, Cyclops, Iceman, Colossus for a fastball special, Rogue, Kitty Pryde, Gambit. That would be fun. There is a lot we could do. Storm would be insane. You're having Jean Grey in the game. Bringing in Storm would be phenomenal for really cool gameplay. But yeah, this could be the chance for them to just throw in some X-Men characters for a full-blown X-Men video game that we haven't gotten in a while, but just have it be solely a Wolverine story, and have different points of the game we meet different X-Men characters or members of the X-Men, and it could be real to be a globe-trotting adventure with different members of the X-Men just scattered throughout, with their own specific missions, and it leads into one massive reveal for who the final villain will end up being, and it would honestly be really cool, because X-Men can do a whole lot, and a globe-trotting adventure, especially with Wolverine, is definitely a good way to get people to get into and buy a video game. Also, it's perfect timing. Avengers Doomsday comes out in December, and the X-Men from the Fox universe, or an alternate version of the Fox universe of the X-Men films, are going to be in there, so build up the hype with a Wolverine game. We also have X-Men 97 coming out in July, so a month from right now, which is hype as hell. I might make a video for X-Men 97 for like a recap of season 1 for all I know, but that depends on my schedule. And we have X-Men movies for the MCU being planned out, so like this does feel like we're getting another revitalization of the X-Men as a brand even more thanks to this game and the new projects that are coming out shortly and more so in the future. But you guys let me know what you think of this trailer. What's your favorite part of it? Are you excited for it? Do you think the gameplay looks cool? Do you think we'll see other X-Men in this game? And what do you think the story could end up evolving into? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, Marvel ToeCon also got another gameplay trailer showcasing 4 new characters. So since we have seemingly the full roster of unreleased characters, I might just make a video going over all the characters we have for ToeCon, because I'm also excited for that Marvel fighting game because it looks very sick. And yes, I'm an anime fan, so of course I'm going to get the anime fighting game that's also based off of Marvel characters and has a lot of my favorite characters in that game. But let me know if you want to see something like that from me, and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on future video, whether it be for the Wolverine game, for any news we get from it, the ToeCon video I want to do, or MCU stuff, or anything related to Marvel and comic books as a whole. And with all that said and done, hope you all have an awesome day.